You have some very intimate scenes with Dane. Tell me what it was like working with him.
Dane's fantastic. Dane is a great actor and somebody I'm very proud to call a friend. And he's just it's kind of a dream to work with. Like, I hope we get to do it again at some point. I love writing. I always have. I wrote some terrible poetry when I was 17, and some not so terrible poetry, but mainly bad. But nowadays I kind of try and like to write scripts, because I want to direct at some point, and the way I see it, it's probably going to be much easier to just direct something that I've written rather than convince somebody else to give me their script to do.
It's one of the reasons we did the film, even though he was a new director, which a lot of the time that's a risk. You meet John Krikidis, who's the director, and you just believe that he had it inside of him. The moment you met him, he was just infectious. You said, not only did he write the movie, like co-write it with Huston, but like he just had this aura about him that you said, oh wow, you're going to take this and you're going to run with it and you're going to make something special. And I feel like you have to sort of put yourself in someone's hands as a director in that sense. And with John, you really didn't question it. And he made you feel very comfortable and very confident, and he really gave everyone like their own sort of freedom, like their artistic license to do what they wanted, but he was very nurturing and made the movie for us, really. I mean, it's John's creation, this movie. It's amazing. The character didn't live past the movie in my eyes. Like, he was only till the film ends. Which was quite nice, because he wasn't Jack Kerouac, who we all know and love. He was basically this kid who was 22, trying to be a writer, trying to find his voice at Columbia University, was the former jock, trying to, bash through the doors, make his own name for himself. And it's a fun part to play that. You get artistic license to make it yourself, your own. It wasn't a direct representation of Jack Kerouac at 40 years old, drunk and bitter and all the rest of it, we all know. I think we all try to feel a connection. I think I felt a connection when I was younger. I went on the road, basically on a Greyhound bus, and travelled the States for 6 months with an old friend of mine, which was lovely. But that sort of that America, that style, that isn't there anymore. So we got to find our own way, which is kind of beautiful, because we got to try to find our own voices, which is important, I'd say.
It's about painful choices that you have to make in order to find your voice creatively and in order to grow as a person in life. That's what Kill Your Darlings is, if there's moral. And
you had access to Ginsberg's diaries. How did that help you get into the psyche of who he was?
Ginsberg's diaries, particularly from when he's a teenager, they're almost like he was writing for somebody else to read them. He seems to have some sense that he was going to be somebody one day, and that people would be reading his diaries at some point. And so that was and just reading them and finding out the difference between who he is and who he wants to be.
You can read as much as you like, but you've got to, in the end, find the character within yourself, so that's always important. So, hopefully you start channeling him at a certain point. I did all my research in the bath, and I figured out that Kerouac did all his stuff in the bath, so that was nice.
You're already an American hustle. Obviously Hollywood's going to come knocking. Tell me, what would you say if someone like J.J. Abrams asked you to be in the Star Wars movies?
Yes. No. I don't know. It would depend what the part was. But I always think those movies are fantastic, and he's got amazing actors to do it. So, like I say, you never say no to something just to say no. You have to sort of have a basis for saying no. You've got to do things for the reason for doing them, which is normally a passion for the project, for the director, for the script, whatever it is. You've got to come up with a reason. You can't just do something for something like money or something like that. But with a movie like that, I think they're incredible. They're beautiful films. So if J.J. Abrams comes knocking, I'd be like, all right, J.J., how are you? I'll come do it.
And what do you think of J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts on the big screen, and how much would you like to be a part of it?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm being very careful to say, and at least not as far as I know. Yeah, but I mean, I'm very happy that she's doing them. There is still a huge hunger out there for more of it, and I think she feels comfortable having stepped away and had success with other ventures to go back to it with fresh eyes.